Hello everyone, this is Kelly Beard of KarmicTools.com, and this is your weekly forecast for June 18th to the 24th of 2023. So our quote for the week says, "No more procrastinating. It's time for tying up loose ends and cutting cords that have you rooted in the past." Ashe. Of course, you know I choose these quotes based on the energy. And I'm not sure if you heard the thunder, but hopefully instead of dogs barking today, you'll hear a beautiful rainstorm coming through in waves. I apologize, but there's nothing I can do. I live in a city, and even with the windows closed and all sealed up, the outdoor noises get in. So I appreciate you for understanding that I don't have a soundproof booth yet. Anyway, our week kicks off on Sunday the 18th with Sun squaring off with Neptune. This is a big boundaries one, y'all. So let's just know that's what's kicking off the week. This activation can cause self-doubt, self-delusion, and an overall confusion that seems to be sourced within or self-directed. It's only temporary. This is just the universe's way of slowing you down so that you can see where your goals may have been unrealistic. If your energy is low and you're feeling challenged to see the bright side of things, it is better to just time out, rest, and replenish if possible. And most of all, do not initiate any grand plans as you are not really seeing things as they truly are at this time. Luckily, this is a pretty short-lived activation. So like I said, this is where Neptune causes those fears and doubts about Sun, you, the individual. So let's look into that this week as we get into deeper activations, because Monday brings a big one that is relatively rare. Jupiter sextiling Saturn. So anytime Jupiter and Saturn, our truth and purpose, dance together, it is important for one and all. As you know, Jupiter's in Taurus and Saturn's in Pisces. So this is an earth and water vibration. These two have not danced like this in 6 years and won't again for 14 years. They sort of alternate this 6 and 14. It's an excellent activation to come on the heels of eclipse season too. So much has changed since 2017, which would be the last time they sextiled each other. What did you get going at that time? What were your measurable successes? How did your personal story evolve because things in your reality shifted during that time? Remember to take the names and faces off. It's all energy. Be neutral and tune back into the here and now. All cycles repeat, but the energy surrounding them and you constantly evolve. Plus, we've actually been swimming in this energy field for a while now, so you ought to know how it feels by now. Check your Taurus and Pisces houses, which is the areas of life being activated that are gaining some traction because they're working well together. This activation just brings the peak and point of contact, which is a unique opportunity to do some personal prayer work or intention setting for these areas of your own life. This activation helps you gain real traction in your life if you are conscious and practical about your own truth and purpose, about the story you're telling and the reality you're living through your everyday choices. Jupiter and Saturn act very much like peristalsis, which naturally expands and constricts the intestine to move our digestive process along. These two also expand and constrict, moving our individual, social, and collective story and timeline along. Jupiter moves your truth, story, and belief systems along, while Saturn is your timeline and moves your physical reality, roles, and responsibilities along. Even though they are considered social planets, we can work with them as individuals and make considerable gains in short periods of time when we do. This activation in particular is super useful because we have the optimism, faith, and vision. Jupiter is expanding in our world while being grounded in the step-by-step process it takes to create this new reality thanks to Saturn. You are supported to finally be congruent, soul and personality, in alignment, congruent on the inside and the outside. This allows you to step up and into this evolved reality that you've created with your own consciousness. And if you're not congruent, but divided within, and you're not living the reality you have always envisioned for yourself, then this activation helps too because it supports you tapping into your higher self to guide a new vision, as well as your first practical steps toward creating a new stability within. Deep breath. So the opportunity years to contemplate. Jupiter and Saturn were in Virgo, Cancer, respectively. That's earth and water like this one, last in 2003 to '04. So that's 20 years ago. Then in 2017, which would have been 14 years later, they hooked up in Libra Sag, which is air and fire. What was going on in 2017? Now they're catching up in Taurus Pisces, which is back to earth and water. And the next one will be another 14 years down the road in 2037 in Gemini Leo. It's kind of interesting because this year Venus is resetting us in Leo and Gemini, respectively. So don't forget, these things have reverberations down the road from other planets and other things happening. But earth and water would be body and soul and pretty literal on the ground activities and activations. Whereas air and fire would be more inspirational and more mental, spiritual. Okay, so let's look at the growth and the evolution of your consciousness and your reality during those years when these two hooked up, which does usually make an impression. I'm just saying, nobody is exempt. Then we jump to Wednesday, summer solstice, our official midpoint in the solar year, which we're going to get to in a minute. First, let's talk about some activations on that same day feeding into our solstice magic. We are going to have a fire ceremony too, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But first up is Mercury sextiling Mars. This is a healthy, selfish energy, also known as self-preservation in my world. Do not hold back this week. If you have a big dream or a serious goal that you have been working toward, then this is the time that may attract the assistance you need from the universe. This is definitely a work energy. However, it brings with it the caveat that it is best if you work alone or on something important to you. No one else is or ever will be as dedicated to your goal as you will be, nor should you expect them to be. You are now connected to the extra energy it takes to push your goals to the next level, bringing you a sense of accomplishment while outlining the next tasks to be done. Opportunities present themselves all the time. All you have to do is be ready. If you are given the opportunity to make a presentation, then go for it. Your clarity, energy, and enthusiasm will be unmatched, and that's what people respond to. Don't choose this time to be shy or doubt that you are ready. You are definitely ready, otherwise you wouldn't be here. One of my favorite sayings is, at the moment of commitment, the universe conspires to assist you. It's time to decide if you are committed and how truly committed you are to your own success. Deep breath. So this is your thinking and choices and actions coming together. You know, Mercury represents our thinking and consciousness and how we process life in general. But Mars is what we're passionate about, what we go after, what we actually do, and what we actually choose. Same day, Sirius, which has already been direct, it's already done its retrograde and direct. Now it's final re-entry into Libra all the way till September 15th when it'll finally move on into Scorpio. So, for the final time in 5 years, Sirius is completing her mission through the Virgo-Libra departments of your chart. This has been a 1-year process. By the time it's done, it'll be September to September. They have spent 6 months in each house, helping you upgrade how you nurture yourself and others, as well as how you allow them, the universe, and Mother Earth to nourish you. Sirius retrograded in Libra and went direct in Virgo. The last time we got this good or deep of a recalibration in the Virgo-Libra realm was in 2000. So we're also talking another 20 years ago, 23 years ago. We are definitely due for this upgrade in this department, for real. We are going through this personal processing to know what feeds and nourishes us on the deeper levels, as well as recalibrating the partnerships that we will continue to invest our energy in, while also releasing and clearing away those which are no longer effective, supportive, or positive. As she finishes her extended journey, you can consciously reset your system so that moving into Scorpio connects you with your power and creativity in a whole new way. So let me just recap here, y'all. Sirius in Virgo requires certain skills, discernment, and self-discipline, and a desire to help others be more efficient and effective. Acts of service are the way to nurture at this time or allow yourself to receive those acts of service. Receiving nurturance can be very difficult for some. Being useful and relevant to others is very important with this placement, but up in the sky for the rest of us, it is time to do a cleanse or some self-care to reset your individual systems. That's just the universe testifying, y'all. You hear that thunder? Nurture your physical body and individual systems for living. It's time for an upgrade that is more appropriate to here and now. Self-worth is developed along with a new skill set right now, so try to learn something that can make you more valuable to the team. You're developing a rhythm that takes some practice to master, but Sirius only comes around to Virgo every 4 to 5 years, so this is a pretty big, important reset. So according to Asteroid Goddesses by Demetra George and Douglas Block, Sirius describes the ways in which we face the issues of self-worth and self-esteem, relationship to our parents and children, attachment, dependency, loss, separation, rejection, grief, sharing, work, and productivity. Okay, so can't you see all that Virgo and Libra tied up in there too? It's how we nurture and like to be nurtured, so you might imagine that Sirius in Libra, nurturing takes the form of beauty, harmony, balance, creativity, and kinship. This is a chance to check in with our primary relationships to initiate a new level of balance and reciprocity. It's a good time to socialize or host a gathering where you bring all your favorite people together for an evening of lively conversation, good food, drink, and kinship. If you're working on your professional partnerships, then this is a good energy to help you move in a new direction there too. You can initiate a new 4 to 5 year cycle of collaborating with others in all new ways. Reflect on the last 23 years and reflect on the last 4 to 5 years and consciously choose to improve going forward. You can also use this energy to infuse your creative babies with some beauty and essence that reflects your renewed sense of self and self-worth. Deep breath. Now, what I find wonderful about all this is that means this was all building up to Venus retrograde in Leo, where we really get to reconnect with our true self. So we probably did have to clean out some Virgo bad habits and shadow Virgo energy, as well as the shadow Libra stuff, the imbalanced relationships or toxic partnerships and things like that. A nice cleanup there as we go to clean up our renewed values and priorities is a big deal, y'all. Everything is a response to the last thing and preparation for the next thing, and we are definitely moving to the next level. Same day is our summer solstice, our midpoint in the year, and when we do our beautiful fire ceremony for the community. This is the integration of light and expansion of life time. That's what time it is. We look to the solar and lunar rhythms to know what time it is, not necessarily the Gregorian calendar. But this is the midpoint in the solar year. So this is when we look back at our initiation to see what all is starting to really come into form now. So our bullets, the things we want to be reminded of for the summer solstice period, is renewing your commitment and dedication. This is, like I said, an annual midpoint and integration time. We get to acknowledge the turning point that it is, review our choices and decisions over the last 6 months to a year. Owning your power and inner authority gets a nice little boost. Processing and planning the next 6 months, assessing and integrating the past 6 months, honoring and giving gratitude for the light, because this is the maximum light time of year as well. Longest days, shortest night. Tending to your sacred space and inner nourishment. Using the sacred season to process and digest life. Balancing your inner feelings with your outer actions. Being more consistently responsible and self-sufficient. Deep breath. So, summer solstice is the midpoint in the year, bringing another turn of the wheel. The peak power of the light before it surrenders, moving toward true completion of that which was seeded at winter solstice. Permanently opposite each other, eternally balancing and rebalancing, integrating and reintegrating the life-death-life cycle. This is the time of year that we should focus on the balance and integration of light and dark, yin and yang, feminine and masculine, inner and outer. That's Cancer and Capricorn. So look to those departments as well. While winter is a time of rest, replenishment, and rejuvenation, summer is the time of pouring forth, emptying out, and fully birthing and releasing your creations, or whatever you've done with your creative energy thus far this year. This is the midpoint of the solar year, a point of culmination and choice, a time to count your blessings, assess your creations, gather power, and access the courage to move forward. This is a balance of your outer world and your inner world, with emphasis on the sacred space where you fortify and replenish, so that you are able to contribute something significant to society. This is the whole balance and calibration axis of Cancer Capricorn. Be creative and operate from the heart center as you move through this sacred season. Release what needs to be released and fertilize the next phase of the annual cycle. Summer solstice is a time to celebrate the primal creative force, the mother of all mothers, Mother Earth, by acknowledging the blessed container, nurturer, and protector that she is for all life on this planet. Connect to and honor your own instinctual nature at this time, and be mindful of the nutrient you take in to your space, mind, body, and spirit. Summer is the sacred season of maximum light, so be passionate and be present. Ashe. So the fire ceremony will start at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific on Wednesday, June 21st. All are welcome. It is a free community event. There's a suggested donation of $22, and you do have to register if you want the replay and your personal activations. So those links are all here in the blog this week. The next day, which is Thursday the 22nd, is also a big energy day. So we have a lot of energy, the new moon notwithstanding, around our summer solstice point. Deep, powerful energy surrounding our solstice. So Juno, the divine consort, enters Cancer until August 15th. She rules your most important relationships and what you are deeply committed to. As she moves through Cancer, we check in with how well our relationships, partnerships, and collaborations are nourishing, supporting, and protecting us. You will get to develop some projects that require you to work with others in a way that benefits all involved. You also get to do some self-care and nesting, improve your private environment, and recommit to quality nutrient and loving exchanges with others. It's time to reset your personal rhythms and practices, so that you're able to be more supportive to others. However, that doesn't work if you're completely depleted or exhausted. Take some time to redream your relationships so that they are more nurturing and supportive over the next 4 to 5 years. Redefine your own concept of emotional security and physical security. Deep breath. Juno in Cancer only happens every 4 to 5 years. So this is a beautiful upgrade to your commitment to self-care, self-love, and quality nutrient, because you're worth it. Same day, another divine feminine, Vesta, what is sacred to you, the individual, moving into Gemini until September 13th. She represents you, the individual, in its purest, most sacred form. It's the part of you that can focus deeply or dedicate completely to a person or project, sometimes to the exclusion of other aspects of life. It's where we can be a little extreme at times. But up in the sky, she is activating all of us to initiate a new cycle of making Gemini curiosity, learning, and communication not just important, but sacred. Curiosity, learning, and communication are sacred, y'all. They are our birthrights. It is how humans function. Not computers, not AI, humans. This is a great time to lighten up personally. It's also an excellent time to check in with your language. Remember, there is power in the word, thought, spoken, or written. It's very powerful, and if your mind and heart are not communicating well, then a lot can get lost in translation. This is a chance to reset your personal story for the next 4+ years, integrating a new narrative that includes more friends and strong personal and professional networks of people who believe in you and support your goals. Ashe. Call it in if you're ready. And certainly if you have strong Gemini, Sag, Virgo, Pisces. Same thing for Juno and Cancer. If you've got strong Cancer, Capricorn, Aries, Libra, then these things are very important for you to pay attention to in your own blueprint. So that same day, Thursday the 22nd, is Nasa Bawa's event, Indigenous Spirituality. Learn the indigenous spiritual framework to ease the struggle of everyday life. And this is a pay what you can workshop. And although she doesn't do suggested donations, I have found that you all always ask me like you don't know what to do and you don't want to over or under donate. So I just think for the workshop and for the tools and the time and the energy that she puts into these things, even though it's a one night, which will probably go 3 hours, I'm just warning you, I'm going to suggest $100 donation. And it starts at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, and here's her little description. Learn the framework that you can apply and practice to improve how you are able to manage the ups and downs of this planet. I have practiced and studied various ancient religions and spiritual traditions. In today's spiritual world, I see people accumulating knowledge and applying practices without fully understanding what this creates in their everyday life. Indigenous spirituality focuses on vibrational preparedness that will give you a better foundation for achieving your life's desires. Join NASA for a Pay What You Can workshop that will give you the fundamental framework that could change your life forever. It's time to return to the ancient wisdom teachings and apply them efficiently and accurately so we can finally live happy on this planet, Ashe. So I love that. I can't wait. But do what you can, and if you're feeling called, join us over there. It's going to be power-packed, I'm sure, and it will give you some tools and practices that you can apply to your everyday life to shift things. Also, we're still very much in the month of June with wolf medicine. Again, kind of tapping into that communication and kinship aspects of life. And I am putting the final touches on the new Venus custom guide, which will cover you for 18 months, 9 months of release work, 9 months of reclamation. Whether you drop into the monthly circle or not, you'll be completely supported with a reading and custom guide. There's also the flyer for that, and the article is linked here, and the link to order it if you're ready. I've got several people already ready to go, so I'm hoping to get these out by the next week. You all will have them in your hand sometime in July for sure, and our first class will be in August, so you'll be all set ahead of time. We'll get the reading done and all that. Meantime, the AJ class is really juicy. We're going narrow and deep on our self-worth and self-value and how to increase our wealth thermostat and how we live in our everyday lives. Again, this energy and lessons and the class, the replays and things, this is timeless, y'all. So this is the first class that Yeye, to my knowledge, has ever left the registration open all through so that you can join anytime. It's really worth it. And for those of you wanting to drop into the Astro 101 class, I'm going to do that again in August, September. So you can start getting ready for there is a workbook for that I need to get to you before class starts. So I need you to register ahead of time whenever you're ready. All right, y'all. That is it for a power-packed solstice new moon week. I mean, I know we're on the heels of the new moon, but still, we're going to be feeling it. At this midpoint, it's time to pause and assess your year and really look at where you want to be in 3 to 6 months from now. Deep breath. That's a lot. And if you want to check in with your own personal cycles, that Astro Tarot reading is not a bad idea. It's kind of a 2-for-1. And if you want to even go deeper than that, the Mystic Mentorship is what you would do with me. So drop in when and where you can. Lots of tools and supports. And I hope you have a fantastic week. Reach out if you need to. This is Kelly Beard of Karmic Tools signing off.